You're welcome to the Red Drop channel. Thank you for the likes, thank you for the subscribing, and thank you for the viewing. I'm so grateful for all who have done that. I welcome you today. In this video, we are going to speak about the menstrual management because today, the 28th of May, is the Menstrual Hygiene Day in the whole world. And today, we know the biggest problem in Uganda, mostly in the rural villages, that's the biggest problem that has hindered lots of girl children to go to school. Today we're going to look at the impacts of menstruation to girl school-going children, the girls, the problems they're encountering, and a few solutions that will push out to the stakeholders, different stakeholders, the non-organizations, the district, and at the national level. We all know that during the menstruation period, girls and women face both practical and gender problems, and these range from restriction on mobility at work, at school, at different places. You may find that it is very uncomfortable for a girl child or a lady to walk around during that time. It is very uncomfortable because they have fear of mapping, they have fear of being laughed at, and this has been a biggest problem that has affected a lot of girls from attending schools, from having engagement with their different peers. Secondly, there has been increased fear and tension. A lot of girls have fear whenever it's that time, and they can't confront different people, they can't seek for different advice because they're afraid they'll be laughed at. And thirdly, it has also led to early marriages. When you look at different cultures and norms, a lot of people have a belief that if they get pregnant, they'll run away from the menstruation cycle, they'll be free from all that, because for all the 9 months, a girl will not be bleeding. And this will give them hopes. They'll say that as long as I get pregnant, I'll run away from this. And this is bad because we are trying to fight as well the early marriages and teenage pregnancies. But then a lot of societies have that belief, which is a myth. And lastly, among the problems that girls and women are facing are the potential impacts and infections. You find that a lot of girls in the villages don't have necessary facilities to use, especially the sanitary towels. They don't have these facilities to be used, so they end up using different they use tissues, they use cotton cords because they think this will help them, which at the end of the day is going to cause them infections, because if you have to use a cotton cord, you have to wash it each and every day, which is not hygienic. And these are problems that vary from village to society to a district and nationwide. And a lot of impacts that are coming up is we're having a lot of school missing. A lot of girls, actually research shows that 60% of girls are missing school because of the menstrual hygiene. And you find that this is impacting on the gender equality. We always talk about education in the gender equality, so we find an imbalance in education between the girls and the boys. A lot of girls will miss school, and this will be something that is not good. It will lead to early marriages and teenage pregnancies. Secondly, there is inadequate menstrual hygiene facilities around schools. For example, during this period, a girl will need water, soap, and thirdly, a private room for changing. But in a lot of schools, girls and boys at times share the toilets, which does not provide a privacy to the girls. It becomes hard. Secondly, you find that these girls do not have a washroom at school, and they're sharing one toilet with the fellow girls. The pupils from P1 to P7 have to share one latrine, which is going to become difficult for these girls to be comfortable within that society. And still there is inadequacy of sanitary towels and pads to be used by these girls. I actually would advise schools to have a first aid tool that will help these girls during their menstruation periods and their cycle. A lot of girls, it comes unaware when they're at school and they don't know who to speak to because they're afraid, and secondly, they don't have the necessary equipment to help them go through this period. And lastly, keeping the girls in school. It becomes hard when boys are not sensitized about the menstrual hygiene management and how they can handle these girls around school during this unbecoming period. You find that a lot of boys laugh at these girls, which becomes very uncomfortable for these girls to be comfortable in the school. They're afraid. All the time they'll think that someone will laugh at me just in case I come out and speak that, this is the time of the month. She's afraid because boys have been laughing at them. So my recommendation goes to the nation, the district, the non-governmental organizations and individuals. There should be possible solutions that can be done to help these girls go through this time. First of all, there is need to sensitize the boy children about the menstrual hygiene management so that they can help the girl children to stay in school. Secondly, there is need to promote advocacy campaigns on the effects and coping mechanism and the menstrual hygiene management policymakers. This goes to the NGOs that are working in the advocacy departments, advocacy fields. You have the ability to impact the policies. You have the ability to change these policies to help these girls in schools so that they stay in school. And there is also a need to address menstrual hygiene management in schools. These girls have to be prepared for this time. They have to be prepared for, especially the adults and girls. They should be taught how to use the sanitary towels, or they should be given prior information about menstrual hygiene before it happens to them and they find no comfort to stay in school. Thirdly, the establishment of functional school clubs, health clubs, and girl clubs to help these girls share their experiences, to get different ideas, to get different advice. Thank you so much for watching this video. And today, as we celebrate the Menstrual Hygiene Day, we call upon you to impact your society, to help a girl child out there. And don't forget to subscribe to the Red Talks, because we are having a lot to share with you, especially in regards of the gender equality. Thank you so much. I remain Nina. Thank you for watching.